Okay, I think we are live now. Sorry about the delay, guys. Sorry about the delay. Just let me know through the chat box if you can see me and hear me. Sorry about that. We had some technical issue where our two streams got mixed up. So we didn't go live with this on time. Really apologize for the delay. But just let me know through the chat box how your preparation is going, how much syllabus you have completed, etc. Just let me know everything that is going on. So hi Hardik, hi Mohammed, hi all those who have joined the stream. I see a lot of people already are joining, so just let me know how your preparation is going. In this particular video, I want to tell you basically which topics you should not skip and which topics are okay to skip, which should not be completely harmful to skip as such. So in this video, we'll discuss all of that. But apart from the topic of the video, we are always there to answer any questions that you might have. So if you have any question related to CAT preparation, verbal, RC, LRDI, Quant, anything related to that, please feel free to ask me. I want the session to be as interactive as possible, so ask away. So good to see a lot of people have joined. One small request to all those who have joined: please like the stream. If you like the stream, we reach more students. It motivates us to have more of these streams. So please like the stream. So hi Yojak, hi Syed. Uh, Study room algebra topics to cover first. Okay, you can start with algebra, but I would always say that start with arithmetic and practice arithmetic and be very, very good at arithmetic. Arithmetic is the key to getting above 95 percentile in quant. Okay. Hi Rahul. Hi AT. Hi. Completed the syllabus but started revision. Excellent, Yojak. This is very, very good. Now you have a lot of time to focus on practice. So what I want you to actually do is like go to study room and just start solving like crazy. Every day you should solve a lot of questions. Basically, you should become very fast at solving. That is always the end goal. Not only that you know how to solve a question, but you are able to solve it in under 3 minutes. That should always be the goal. Okay. Hi Sangha, hi. The struggling in VRC. Don't worry about it, Yojak. VRC, like quant, you see, if you read a topic, if you solve a few questions, you see immediate improvement. LRDI also, if you solve a few sets of a particular type, you see some improvement in LRDI. But VRC improvement is very, very slow. But you should keep at it, because if you are actually having the time and if you put in the time to practice and if you put in the time to actually solve a lot of RC sets, you will see the improvement. But you won't see it immediately, you won't see it in 1 month, you will see it 2 months later. So put in the practice today so that you get a better improvement at the end of September, and in October and November you are actually doing better in VRC. But keep at it. Hi, good to see all those who have joined. I see a lot of people have joined us now. So please like the stream and just let me know how your preparation is going. Only arithmetic and algebra is enough for quants. How many days does it take to complete this topic? So Praveen, I will actually answer that question. So what is important for quant? See, the most important part for a quant or doing well in quant is arithmetic. Arithmetic is nearly half of the quant section. By weightage it is around 40%, but if you consider easy to moderate questions, most of the easy to moderate questions are from arithmetic. So if you skip arithmetic, you won't be doing the easy questions, you will directly go to the hard questions, which will be difficult to do. So arithmetic is absolute must, and I actually say that if you do arithmetic also properly, you will get to 95 percentile. You don't do anything else, you get to 95 percentile. But you should get each and every single question of arithmetic. You shouldn't get a single question wrong. Even that is 95 percentile. But again, accuracy sometimes is 70%, sometimes is 80%. Then only arithmetic is not enough. And also, even if you are at 100% accuracy, you should basically say that I should not leave an easy question from any topic. So if any topic question comes, I should be able to solve. So basically, I always say that start with arithmetic, go towards either geometry or algebra, cover these geometry and algebra questions. And then people say that, okay, arithmetic, algebra, and geometry I can do. Now there is 3 months to CAT. Maybe I can cover all three of them. But what about the smaller topics like number systems, modern maths, probability, progressions and series? What about them? Should I leave them? Is it okay to skip them, or is it not okay to skip them? So I'll be answering those questions over here. Before that, one request to all those who have joined: please like the stream. It helps us reach more students. It motivates us to have more of these sessions. And the second thing I would say is that for those who are looking for a structured way to prepare for CAT, if you're looking for excellent concept videos, just a direct way to like not waste any time, know exactly what you have to prepare when, please do check out Kraku's course. We have a 3-month crash course going on. It will tell you exactly what you have to do on each and every day, so that you know that I have to go to this particular class, I have to see these concept videos, I have to do these concept tests, so all your preparation will be sorted. Okay, so coming back to topic, what can you skip, what can you not skip? So arithmetic, algebra, and geometry, you should not skip. You should do all of it. You should basically make sure that you have full coverage of concepts, all formulas, all concepts, complete coverage, and you have decent practice in all three of them. Now, when it comes to number systems, what can you not skip and what can you skip? What you should definitely not skip is HCF, LCM, divisibility, and cyclicity of factors. What you can skip is remainder theorems. Remainder theorems, do it after CAT, because remainder theorems directly are not asked in CAT, they are asked in ZAT. So you can study them after CAT is over. So you can skip remainder theorems part of number systems, do just divisibility, HCF, LCM, and cyclicity of factors. That is enough. Now, what can you skip in modern maths? Progressions and series, functions and graphs, logarithms, and PNC probability. I always say that a lot of students find it very difficult to understand probability. They don't have an intuitive sense of probability. I say that in case you are making no headway in probability, then leave it. But it is a very, very important topic. I'll tell you why it is important. It is not only important for your quant section, it is also very important for your LRDI section. For every enumeration puzzle, many times you need basic PNC concepts to actually solve the enumeration puzzle. So PNC is a foundational concept which affects two sections as such. So that is why I won't say that leave the section. Only if you have absolutely no understanding of the section, then you can leave it, but it will still hurt. So be very, very mindful of the fact that this is one of the topics which you should definitely not skip unless it is something that goes completely over your head. The other topics that you can skip progressions and series. You will get one question or two max questions from that, and they will generally be of the harder type. Again, when I say skip, you should still do the basic formula. So you should know the basic formulas of sum of series, sum of an AP, sum of a GP. You should know these basic formulas. But the harder parts of progressions and series, suppose what is like an AGP, how do you find the sum of a mixed series, all of those harder questions, if you're not able to solve it, is okay, because at max one question will come from that. So you can sacrifice that one question, given that this is a harder topic, will take time to master, but it will be one question, exactly one question in CAT as such. And you can then say that, okay, I will leave that one question, but I don't want to like study for 10-15 days just for progressions and series for just that one question. But between these two, PNC, probability, and progressions and series, I would always say pick PNC and probability. It has impact on both sections. If you want to skip progressions and series. Okay, I'll answer some more of your questions and let's see. Okay. Hi, ma'am. I fear attempting quant questions since I feel a lot of uncertainty. If I get correct answers, it is happening. I selected between two choices. How do I eliminate the wrong answer? See, in quant questions, you should know the answer. There should be no guessing. You should arrive at a single answer. Now, if you have confidence issues, it will come from lack of practice, from lack of being sure of what the answer is. In such cases, you just need a lot of practice. See, I'll tell you, there is no shortcut to doing well in quant. There is only one way to do well in quant, which is solving thousands of questions. There are many students who struggle with quant, and there are some of them who decide that I know that I'm not good at quant. The only way I can get better at quant is if I solve a lot of questions. So basically, I would say that, Chetan, now that you have identified this is a problem, work on it. Solve a lot of questions. Where can you solve questions from? Previous year's papers. Previous year's papers, you will find all previous year's papers on Krakow's website. They are also sorted by topic level. So topic wise also the sorting is there. If you want, you can download PDFs, you can take as mock, solve a lot of questions. Second is study room, Krakow study room, which is a paid course. We have thousands of questions in every single section, and many hundreds of questions per topic, and it will be enough practice to really do well in CAT. But now you have to start solving questions. Okay. Okay, so Aditya is saying in DILR question, I often find myself unable to solve even a single problem during mocks, and in quant, I manage only 4 to 5 questions. Despite good preparation, I struggle to apply concepts under exam. So, Aditya, basically, you know how to solve, but you don't know how to solve under exam pressure. And that gap is basically skill. That skill comes from practice. So, what I will say is that in DILR section, for example, if you're not able to solve a single set, I will say that in every DILR section, generally there'll be one arrangement set. So from this mock, the last mock that you gave to the next mock that you give, solve 20 arrangement sets. Okay, just do arrangements, nothing else. Get confidence in arrangements. So the next time the mock that you give, find the arrangement set or the LR Einstein puzzle kind of set and try to solve it. That is the best way you can say that I will have the single minded focus that I will do well in this one time. Similarly, with quant, just focus on profit and loss, on time, speed, distance, time, and work, and averages, ratio, and proportion, mixtures, and solutions. These are the basic arithmetic topics. Just focus on them. Do 100 questions from each one of them. And when you're attempting the mock, just do all the arithmetic questions. Cut the task in front of you into small subtasks. If you say that I have to do well in quant and suddenly I'll do well in quant in all of quant, it will be difficult to do. Just say I will do well in arithmetic, just say I will do well in arrangements. If you are not able to do well in those topics, then there is issue, then you have to just keep on working at it. But after some time, if you have like a small focus as such, you will see that you will get better at that. Then you can broaden your scope and say that okay, now I'll do arithmetic plus geometry, I'll do arithmetic plus algebra. In DILR sets, I'll do all table and chart based sets also, as well as any set that comes on arrangement. So basically keep on having these narrow focuses and then broadening those focuses as you practice more from other parts as such. Okay. Hi Rishi, for those who have just joined. So basically, I'm telling you what you can skip and what you cannot skip. The quant, what is the most important part of quant? Arithmetic, algebra, geometry. In this, if you're struggling with algebra, at least get very good at arithmetic and geometry. Then you can say that, okay, I will skip algebra. But if you, arithmetic plus geometry is absolutely essential. Arithmetic plus algebra, if you're skipping geometry, is absolutely essential because you're leaving a huge chunk as such. Okay, if you're leaving one of algebra or geometry, you cannot leave anything else. These are big parts of the quant section. If you're leaving any of that, you are essentially eliminating any other things that you can leave. Now many people, now there is still 3 months to cat, you can definitely cover arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. Now remaining quant portion, what do you skip, what should you definitely do, and what should you definitely skip? So in modern maths, I always say that do PNC and probability unless it completely goes over your head. PNC and probability is something which is very important, not just for quant but also for the LRDI section. Okay, so that is one thing that I will say. Number systems, number theory is very important. Number systems always do HCF, LCM, the cyclicity of factors, the divisibility of numbers. These are important concepts, and many times in enumeration puzzles also, these number systems concepts come. So you should be very good at them, for not just for DIL quant sake but also for DILR sake as such. What can you skip? You can skip, if you're finding it difficult, you can skip progressions and series. Just do the basic formulae, sum of series, sum of AP, sum of GP, basic ideas of how to calculate, like simple questions of AP, GP you should be able to solve. But you can leave if you want the harder questions of progressions and series, because generally progressions and series can be time consuming, it can be difficult, and only one question comes. So that you can skip, but don't skip. From modern maths, do not skip PNC and probability. Okay. Okay. So I'm on track to still finish the syllabus. I'm done with arithmetic and focusing on finishing algebra right now, since I'm done almost 40% of it. What's the best way to go about it? Continue finishing the rest of the others. You are on track to finish it. Now, in this, what I would say is that basically now that you know that this is to be done, now since arithmetic is done, start practicing. You should practice questions from arithmetic, like say 20-30 questions every single day. Say that today I'll do profit and loss questions and do 20 questions. It is very important that you practice from each of these topics and keep in touch with arithmetic, keep in touch with solving questions from algebra, because now like the last 3 months are there, practice becomes super important. Okay. Okay. Ma'am, in RCs, I'm struggling to find a way to eliminate closure options in inference and conclusion based questions. How do I tackle this? Take a look at critical reasoning videos. So in Krakow, we have a critical reasoning section. I've explained exactly what can be inferred, what cannot be inferred, what is beyond the scope. All of that you should take a look at. The second thing is that take a look at the distortions that are generally added. So how you can distort an option. Even the paper setter has to basically trick you, right? So they will basically add small distortions to the options to basically trick you. The thing that you should note is that when you have two close options, okay, say B and C are the options, both of them seem close to the answer. So the way the paper setter essentially tricks you is that he puts 90% of the option is correct. 90% is directly lifted from the passage. It has all the right words. 90% of it is perfect. But 10% of it, or just even a small word in that option is wrong. And that small distortion should tell you that this is the wrong option. The correct option will have no distortions. It will have no traps. It will have no false parts as such. So just when you are actually looking at the option, I generally say, okay, this first part, the first part or the first phrase or the first half of the sentence is correct. But this last half of the sentence, this has something which I find a bit fishy. Then I circle that part and I say that this has a distortion. This is not given in the passage. This is something extra that the paper setter has added to like some extra masala that he has added, which is not actually in the passage as such. So from that, you can eliminate the wrong options. Many times options seem right, but have these small things that are just slightly twisted to make them the wrong options as such. Okay. Okay, in modern math, should you do functions? Is it important for algebra or struggling? See, I will tell you, if you're struggling with functions, do algebra properly. So do quadratic equations very properly, because every year quadratic equations come. Okay, so quadratic equations is super important. That you should do properly. In algebra, do quadratic equations properly, do linear equations, inequalities properly. If you're struggling with functions, what I will say is do base of functions. See, in functions, you need not do all of functions. You have to basically say that in functions, I'll do what is domain, and I'll do domain and range of functions to find the min max value or the number of values. I'll try to do just small subparts of functions as such. But even then, if you're doing algebra properly, if you want to cut functions out, that is okay. Because again, functions only is like one question in quant, it does not affect LRDI. So you can possibly say that I will not do functions without it actually affecting much in your CAT preparation. So can you skip functions? Yes, but as long as you don't skip all of LRDI. Quadratic equations is very important. Inequalities and linear equations is very important. Do them, and you are allowed to skip functions as such. And in functions, I will tell you one thing. In functions, there are basic functional equations called Cauchy's functional equations. Take a look at them. Take a look at the four Cauchy's functional equations and the modified Cauchy's functional equations. Just mug them up, okay? If any question directly comes from that, if it is like a direct application of Cauchy's functional equations, you should be able to solve, because it does not really require any logic or any higher level logic. It is just mugging. Just at least do that so that you can leave rest of the functions, but at least if any direct application comes, you will be able to solve. Okay, somebody had asked a question. Okay, can I crack FMS interview by preparing well for PI extempore, having no extracurricular achievements? I'm general non-engineer, fresher, BBA 1082, 1282. Please give me some tips. I think it is possible. You need a good CAT score though for that. But I will say that in general, if you are asking for profile reviews, please comment under the video, because our team basically goes for each of those profile review comments under the video, and then we actually give proper responses to that. In this video format, it is difficult for me to give like profile reviews at the same time as giving the exam tips that I'm supposed to cover. Okay, how do I ace DILR? So Rohan, I would say that basically in DILR there are certain types of LR sets that come every single time. So in DI, I'll tell you what is there. There's table based sets, chart based sets, anything which is like range based data, cumulative data. All of this is either represented as a table 90% of the time, or charts 10% of the time. That's DI. What is LR? So you have puzzles, you have arrangements, Einstein's puzzles, you have 2D space LRs, 3D space LRs, basically visualization of visualization puzzles as such. You will have roots and networks, you will have scheduling. So there are different types of puzzles that come. Basically, if you take a look at any like the distribution of puzzles over distribution of the LRDI sets over the last 5 6 years, you will get the different names of the LRDI sets that come. Now, what you should basically see is that what comes the most number of times. What comes the most number of times? In LRDI, puzzles and arrangements comes the most number of times. Table-based DI sets come the most number of times. Charts-based sets come the most number of times. Venn diagram-based sets, 4-set Venn diagram-based sets also come very often. Enumeration-based puzzles also come very often. So you should say that, okay, these are the most frequently asked type LRDI puzzle sets, right? I will become a master in these specific sets. Then I will do some of games and tournaments, some of scheduling, some of roots and networks. I will also do all of them. But the ones that are asked the most number of times, arrangements, puzzles, and table based DIs and chart based DIs, I'll be very, very good at them. Because if anything comes from that particular type, I will definitely attempt and I'll definitely do well in that mindset. That is basically how you start. Narrowly define the type of sets that you can do, become a master at them, and then slowly, slowly add to the level of sets that you can do by adding some of scheduling sets, practice some scheduling sets, practice some roots and network sets. So overall, then you will be able to solve all the different types of sets that are there. Okay. So Rishabh is asking, hello ma'am, my marks in VRC mocks are stagnant and not increasing above 20. How do I make this 35 plus for 99 percentile? So I would basically say that if your mock scores or VRC scores are stagnant, you need to improve the attempt rate or the accuracy rate. If your accuracy rate is already above 80%, you have to you have to improve the attempt rate. If your accuracy rate is all over the chart, sometimes it is 20%, sometimes it is 30%, sometimes it is 80%, sometimes it is back down to 30-40%, then you need to improve accuracy. You need to stabilize accuracy above 80% as such. How do you do that? You basically, when you're attempting RCs, you have to do active reading. You have to invest a lot of time in understanding the RC. If you do that, you will see that your RC accuracy will stabilize over 80. Then the next goal should be that I should improve my attempt rate. If you have 80% accuracy, if you have a high attempt rate of 3 RCs or 4 RCs, your scores will automatically go above 30. Okay. One last thing. So I see a lot of people have joined us. Please like the stream. It motivates us to hold more of these streams. So please like the stream. And also those who are preparing for CAT and are looking for a way to prepare for CAT in just 3 months. How do I crack CAT in 3 months? Do check out Kraku's 3-month course. So in that particular course, we'll give you day-wise schedule. We'll tell you exactly what you have to do on each day. Concept videos covering the entire portion will be there, plus concept test, plus practice questions. Everything will be covered. So do check out Kraku's 3 months crash course. Okay. Why is the syllabus to be covered in algebra? It is very different across various platforms. What can I study and say I have completed algebra? So Vilasini, in algebra, what is included? In algebra, it is firstly, simplest form is linear equations. The slightly more complicated form is quadratic equations. The third part is inequalities. The fourth part is polynomial equations. Above polynomial equations, you have functions or graphs which involve these algebraic identities as such. So algebraic identities are essentially all of these. Linear, quadratic, polynomial are algebraic equations. Anything which is a function based on that is also part of algebra. So this is the whole portion. Now, if you are trying to skip something, I am not able to do something. So what can you skip? What can you not skip? Don't skip linear equations. Don't skip quadratic equations. Don't skip inequalities. These are foundational concepts that are also part of other things. So if you skip these parts like linear equations, etc., arithmetic you won't be able to solve. So these things you cannot skip. What can you skip? Functions. If you're very weak in algebra and you don't understand functions, you can skip that. But at least do the basic concepts of functions. I always say that don't completely leave it. At least do the base concepts so you have some familiarity. Even if you are not solving a lot of questions from functions, you will at least know what a function is. That if you have that level of familiarity also, that is also enough. You know the basic functional equations. If that is done, that is enough. Okay. Is number system important? Ananya, I'll tell you, this is the most important question that you have to know. Number systems is where a lot of students waste a ton of time, and it is absolutely not necessary. Number systems is important in the sense that there will be 2 to 3 questions from that, but these questions will be from, so if you see number systems is like, say, okay, the camera is over here. So if number systems is this big, okay, the portion of number systems from which the questions actually are asked is this much. The questions are asked from HCF LCM. You can learn HCF LCM in half an hour. The questions that are asked on cyclicity of factors, you can learn that in another half an hour. Divisibility of numbers, half an hour. In 1.5 hours, you can complete all the parts of number systems that are actually asked in CAT. What do students spend a lot of time studying? Remainder theorems. Remainder theorems do not get asked in CAT. Remainder theorems come in ZAT. You can do it after CAT. There's a gap of 1 month when you can actually review all of those remainder theorems. But focus on divisibility of factors, divisibility of numbers, cyclicity of factors, and lastly HCF LCM. These are very important to do. Okay, ma'am, my accuracy in RC is very low. I'm trying paraphrasing, but also there's no improvement. Please suggest something. So Harshita, not paraphrasing. So when I say active reading, what does active reading mean? See, active reading means you read a paragraph, you understand the paragraph, understand the main point of it. It is not paraphrasing. You don't have to rewrite the whole paragraph. But what I want you to do is basically think about the paragraph, try to understand it. If the author is giving some argument, okay, you say, okay, this is what he's saying, this is what he means. I want you to spend time thinking about the paragraph, thinking about the passage, because that helps in understanding the passage and that helps in improving accuracy. A lot of students just go, okay, 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 this is what is given, this is what is given. They just go through the passage, nothing sticks. The only way that you can make yourself slow down, read it carefully, consider it, understand it, think about it, is if you have to actually write down the main point of it. So I'm not asking you to paraphrase. Active reading is not paraphrasing. Active reading is forcing yourself to think about the passage, to think about the paragraph. What is the author trying to say? It's like if you have to write not the summary, but the TLDR version of what is given in the passage. That's what you have to write. Okay. And if you force yourself to write that down, you will improve the understanding of the passage, and that will improve the RC accuracy. Okay. Hi, good to see a lot of people are there. And a small request to all those who have joined. I see a lot of people on the stream, watching the stream, but not as many likes. Please like the stream. And for those who are looking for a structured way to prepare for CATs, please check out Kraku's 3-month batch. And if you're looking only for daily targets and mocks, do check out the daily target and mock combo. We have just put the link in the chat box, so you can check it out from there. Ma'am, in 40 minutes, I am able to solve 4 RCs with 70% accuracy in 2 ways. How to improve? I also follow your active reading. This is firstly a great attempt. 4 RCs and 2 VA is a great attempt, especially at 70% accuracy. Now, how can you actually improve? Try different strategies, Dheeraj. So basically what happens is that sometimes, like for some people, if it is 4 RCs, you kind of tend to slow down by the 4th RC. So I would say that this is basically the time when you try to like experiment with different strategies or test taking strategies. So sometimes a lot of people do the VA part initially. The 8 questions they attempt first, then they go to RC. See how whether that works for you. The other thing that people do is, this is something that Maruti does, where he does 1 RC, 1 VA question, 1 RC, 1 VA question. The reason why he does that is, see, when you are reading the RC, you know the time is ticking down. You will basically quickly answer the RC questions if you are low on time. But with VA questions, individual questions, you cannot do that. So basically see which test taking strategy works for you. The test taking strategy that I follow is basically I do all 4 RCs and 8 VA questions. I do the RCs first and I do the 8 VA questions later. Maruti does something different. So for every person, the test taking strategy will be slightly different based on their own strengths and weaknesses as such. Okay. Ma'am, how many questions come from logarithms and geometry? Very good question. A lot of people ask, should I skip logarithms? Should I skip logarithms? Don't skip logarithms at all. And I'll tell you why. Logarithms is very formula driven. If you remember the formula, if you mug up the formula, you will be able to solve the questions. There is literally nothing in logarithms other than basically mugging up the formula. The only time when logarithms is difficult is when logarithms is combined with algebra, where there's an algebraic identity inside the logarithms. Then you can say that, okay, algebra is not my strong point, then logarithms is difficult. But if it's a plain log question, don't leave it. Okay. How many questions come from logarithms? 2 to 3 questions come. In one paper I remember where there were 3 questions from logarithms, but recently it is 1 to 2 questions as such. But again, some days the paper setter might be in love with logarithms and he can put even 3 questions, and leaving 3 questions, especially if they are easy 3 questions, is not something that you want to do. So do not skip logarithms at all. Algebra, how many questions come? Algebra questions come from 4 to 5 questions, or 4 to 6 questions come from algebra. But basically they are also split. Okay, so you will get 1 to 2 questions from quadratic equations, 1 to 2 questions from inequalities. So they are also split. You don't get directly algebra. It's not like a combined monolith. You can say that in algebra I'll do only quadratic equations. Even that is possible as such. Okay. Can we skip permutations and combinations? You can skip permutations and combinations. It will affect about 1 to 2 questions in quant, but it can affect an entire set in LRDI. That's why basically I say that if you want to cut a particular topic, don't cut permutations and combinations. You can cut questions like progressions and series, you can skip progressions and series, you can skip functions and graphs, but if possible do not cut PNC, because PNC comes in enumeration puzzles. It is part of enumeration puzzles which comes in LRDI. So if you have no if you don't have a lot of practice of PNC, then you can end up making a big mistake in the enumeration set or any kind of LRDI puzzle that you are solving. Okay. Ma'am, in exam one section like VRC goes badly, it affects my performance in the other sections. Also, how can I, causing panic and freezing up, how can I manage this better? Sahil, this is something that happens to a lot of people. So I'll tell you one story, okay? So there were two people who used to, were students at Krakow who were working with us also. So basically, there was one student who was, both of them basically in 1 year, DILR was very difficult. They were in the same slot. In that slot, DILR was terrible, and the slot earlier than that, the DILR was not so bad. So they were not expecting DILR to be so crazy, and they realized that only one DILR set was solved. Basically, they were like doing very well in CAT. Otherwise, they were expecting 99.8 plus. But when you are able to solve only one DILR set, you feel that okay, I'm not going to clear the sectional cutoffs. I'm not able to go in. I'm not doing well in like CAT. Ye saal to gaya. So there, both of them were thinking that thought as such. But one of them was able to pull himself together. Both of them solved only one LRDI set. But the person who was able to pull himself together at the end of LRDI did well in Quant. He said that Quant is my scoring section. If I don't do well over here, definitely nahi ho raha hai. So he basically managed to bring himself back from this state of despondency and did well in the Quant section. The other guy, on the other hand, was able that effect of that LRDI section was there even on the Quant section. So he didn't do well in the Quant section also. So that basically meant that his overall score was poor. When the actual results were announced, because that slot's DILR was bad, it was like a very tough DILR, all of their scores were marked up. So the one set solving did not really affect their like overall score as such, because they were scaled up. But because this person allowed this DILR section, the disappointment of DILR section to affect his Quant section, he didn't do well enough in Quant section because of that. So always remember, do not let the impact of one section fall to the next section. Like if you want, take a deep breath at the end of a section. Many times at the end of Quant or RC, Maruti just like for the last 10 seconds, he just takes a deep breath and just close your eyes, take a deep breath and prepare yourself for the next section. You should not keep thinking of what has happened in the previous section. A lot of people keep thinking about what happened in the LRDI section while solving questions in Quant section, and then their mind wanders, then the accuracy drops, because then they make silly mistakes because they are thinking, array, was it 15 or is it like 5 or what was the answer? They are just constantly thinking of what they had marked in the LRDI section. Don't do that. Take a breath, take disconnect from the previous section and then attempt the next section. I'll take a last question, and thank you guys, all those who have joined us. Okay, so please tell about VRC. So Abhi, I don't know the question that you had asked. Do probability and PNC questions come hard in CAT? Yes. So basically, Ali, the probability and PNC questions, not necessary that they are difficult. See, probability and PNC, basically for some years it didn't come, and because of that people started skipping PNC and probability. Then last year simple questions came, so it's not very difficult questions came. But probability and PNC is something that is foundational even to LRDI. So even in the years when there was no probability or PNC question in Quant, you had a PNC based LRDI set, full set, which was based on only PNC as such. So again, the questions are not difficult. They are not hard questions. So it's not like, okay, 100, 100 C, 4 or anything, not super difficult, nothing of that sort. They are generally very logical questions. And if you understand PNC, they will be something that you can definitely solve. I feel algebra is much harder than PNC as such. Okay. I'm scoring 8 marks. What to do now? Abhi, what I would say is that focus only on RCs, completely on just RCs. Do forget VA for now. I want you to be able to solve 2 RCs correctly. That should be your goal when you're going into any mock, that I should be able to solve 2 RCs properly. Do active reading. Take your time to think about the RC. Read a paragraph, write down the main point. Read a paragraph, write down the main point. This is called active reading. Keep doing active reading for every mock, for every RC that you attempt. Practice a lot of RCs from the study room. Practice reading a lot of essays, articles from Aeon, from Scientific American, from the New Yorker, any other site that you find interesting. Keep reading. It is very, very important that you read, you solve RCs, and you do active reading. That will basically improve your comprehension skills slowly, and overall, you will see the improvement in RC. RC is the main way that you improve in VARC. VA is there, but VA is not really the part that will give you a lot of marks. RC is what you have to crack. Focus only on RC from now on till CAT. Okay. Last question I'll take. Ma'am, will Snap course help in CAT? Yes, partly, because some of the areas of overlap will definitely help. For all of the OMET exams, the many of the like arithmetic questions are quite similar. So if you're preparing for any of these OMET exams, many of the questions are so similar to CAT that your arithmetic is already done. Your some parts of like your preparation are already done because they overlap with the CAT preparation as such. So this is the last question. Thank you all those who have joined. And for any question that I was not able to answer in this particular session, please write it as a comment below the video. We take a look at all the comments that have been placed below the video, and then we try to answer them. Okay. One last question I see Manav posted it quite a bit. I'm able to solve most questions in Krakow, but not at the time of giving mocks, but later. Is it performance gap or knowledge gap? It is basically performance gap, Manav. So you know the formula, you know how to solve, but you're not able to do under pressure. And how do you actually overcome that? Practice. See, basically everybody knows how to solve questions. They know the formula. Okay, if I know the time speed distance formula, it is distance is speed into time. But basically knowing it under pressure how to solve, that will only come through practice. If I solve 100 questions, I'm able to solve the 101st in under 2 minutes. And if I'm able to solve the 101st in under 2 minutes, I'll be able to solve it in the actual exam paper. If I'm not able to solve it under 2 minutes, I will not be able to solve it in the actual paper. So it's just practice. So from now on, just crazily solve a lot of questions. You will then see that you are actually able to solve it in under time pressure as such. Okay, so that was my last question. Thank you so much, all of those who have joined. Please like the stream. And please, if I have not been able to answer any of your questions, please comment below the video and I will try to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you guys. Signing off now.